Okay, take a quick look here at the general drill sharpening fixture. I've mounted it here on a belt sander just because it's easier for me to get it rigidly supported as opposed to this little bench grinder, which is harder to attach to. So I have a rigid solid steel bar attached to the belt grinder, cast iron body, piece of tubing which is squared up on the milling machine, bolted to this. Everything's very rigid, and this of course is bolted just to the top of this surface here. I can loosen this bolt here to move things back and forth. Of course it can rotate too, but I think you're always going to want this to be square with the grinding surface. So let me get this thing set up and we'll see how it works. Okay, so the first, this is the drill we're going to work with. This is, I think it's 1/2 inch. I can't see that without, it's 31/64, just shy of 1/2 inch. And this thing is really chewed up. This is in terrible shape. So if we can get this to drill, that'd be nice. So the first step here is the front of this, they tell us, should be about 1 drill diameter away from the grinding surface, roughly. Don't know how critical that is, so put it there, square it up. We'll snug this up so it doesn't move. Okay, next, there's this little point here, and what's supposed to happen is that little point is supposed to be raised up and fit into the flutes and rotate, and use that for rotational orientation. I've kind of figured out I don't like that. Seems inconsistent. So what I've been doing is I just look at the cutting edges of the drill bit. This edge right here and this edge over here, and I make those vertical. They're slightly off center, but if I can get those edges after the grinding to be vertical, so when I grind it, those edges will move a little bit, but vertical is where we'd like them to be. So I'll set that in there, correct orientation, bring this down to touch, and I can see I'm just a little shy of where I want to be. Now, there's 2 adjustments for the length of the screw. There's a set screw on the back of this, which I don't like because it doesn't hold really well. Sometimes it comes loose. So I'm probably going to modify that at some point. I'll take this set screw. I'll probably just make a point on this set screw so that it bites a little better. But anyway, if you're careful, you can make that work. So we'll set this up. We'll snug that up, and we can loosen this. And I think I'll tighten this, push this drill bit out just a little bit. You have to lock these 2 together too, because the vibration tends to blow them out. So that looks like I'm going to take a pretty good grind there. Let's, oops, this has to be down to the stop. I'm not even grinding, so I need to move this all back up. That's in contact. I'll loosen this up and snug it up a little bit again. Tighten everything down. The drill bit's against the support. I'll make sure this is oriented correctly and clamp it in place. So let's grind it and see what happens. Okay, that looks like a pretty good start. I think right here at the very cutting edge I did. Maybe I did touch that. We'll have to see, but you can see the point now is way off center, so I've ground this quite a bit. So next, we're going to turn this around. Why did that drop down so far? Yep, just as I thought, this stupid thing moved. So let's go back to the original side here. I'm going to put this edge here vertical. Loosely adjust that. Now, we got to push this thing up to the surface again, like so. And I'm beginning to hate this thing. I need to modify this set screw so it bites properly. So, snug that up again. Seems solid. Let's grind just a little bit off of this. So we'll loosen this, give it a fifth of a turn or so. Everything's snugged down. Let's see what happens. Okay, now I'm going to turn the bit 90 degrees here, and once again I'm going to set it up so this cutting edge is pretty close to vertical. Clamp it down, grind the other side. That looks pretty good. Let me see if I can get a little closer look at that. Let's Okay, so you can see the two cutting edges, which are here and here, are pretty close to vertical in the machine. Looks like we have a good tip in the middle. Let's set it up in the drill press and see how it goes. Okay, so I've put the drill in the drill press. Drill press is running about 400 RPM. I don't have a pilot hole. I think usually with a 1/2-inch drill I would typically have a pilot hole, but I'm going to do the worst case scenario here. So this is 4140 chromoly steel, which is in the annealed state, so it's not particularly hard to drill, but it is good steel. So let's see what happens. Clearly that's what happens. I don't get this thing supported. Let's see what we can do here to get on a supported surface. Let's just move this. Let's move this over here someplace. Okay, that will do. Okay, let's try it again. I think that works really well. I think, of course, if you want to spend thousands of dollars on a drill sharpener, I think you could get better. But I think for less than $25, if you can get this thing set up so it's supported rigidly enough, I think it works great. That's actually pretty easy drilling. I can sharpen drills by hand, but it takes a long time and some hit and miss work to get it right. But I think this is just fine for, again, for the price that you pay for the tool. Okay, hope that helps.